Hi everyone, Angus Campbell here. It's Thursday the 18th of July 2024. Right, well, if you've seen the last video that I published relating to putting the repainted side panel on the B25SS to see how that's turned out, then you'll know that I've been moving bikes around. So the Fury Roadster and the Rocket 3 have gone up to the other storage unit, and I've brought down the Lightning to join the Fury SS because these two are going to Founders Day at Stanford Hall on Sunday in 3 days' time, Sunday the 21st. And they're both in pretty good fettle and polished up, but the objective is to have them running, so that maybe at least one, if not both, can be ridden round the ring in the afternoon, which is always one of the features at that event. So these two have been effectively laid up, batteries out, oil out, and in the case of the Fury SS, we did some, if you like, dilapidation work following test runs, but we're waiting for a long while for an auto advance unit, which we've now got, so we've got to time that up. So just need to do a bit of maintenance on these, so oils, timing on the Fury SS, tyres, controls and stuff, just to check them all out, but they're both looking pretty good anyway. So let's get on. Firstly, as it's in front of us, let's do the Lightning. So I'm sure it's still got gearbox oil. No, oh, I can undo it with my fingers just like that. I know it's on the side stand, but it should give us an indication. I'm not sure actually. So anyway, we'll need to check gearbox oil as well. I remember from memory that the gearbox oil is in both of them still. The primary drive oil on the Fury SS is actually fed and maintained by the engine, so it's the same as the engine oil. But on the Lightning, it's separate. It's straight 30 in a separate compartment. Let's do the Lightning first before we start complicating things. We'll get some oil in the spine, check the oils in the engine, and then we'll go on to other things. I don't think you can see that, but the oil's up to the top there. It only takes about just over 4 pints, but it is just there. Yeah, it's not very good. Right, so also I have checked with the bike up in an upright position. There is oil in the gearbox up to the level. So we'll do the chain case oil, which is straight 30 as I say, and a small matter of a battery as well. Okay, that's battery in. So what next? Oh yeah, let's just check the primary drive oil. Again, I don't think, I'm pretty sure I didn't empty this, but we'll give it a little bit of a top up anyway. It's not going to do much mileage, but we need to get some in there anyway, because if these get dry, they shred the primary chain tensioner, and the chain can jump when it's slack onto the sprockets, sorry, on the clutch basket sprocket teeth, and can jam the clutch against the chain case. Don't ask me how I know. I know there's nothing much to see on this video, but anyway, believe me. Right, she's all oiled up, the battery's in. We don't have to check the timing because it's hardly done any miles, and I think the last thing that we did on this machine was we were checking the oil pressure following re-shimming the crank end flow, which on the A70 you can do without splitting the cases. And we found that the oil pressure was fantastic with the gauges that Matt lent me. So other than checking tyre pressures, I don't think we've got much else to do on the bike other than a bit of bullying up. I've checked all the controls. They all seem to be working fine. So not much to do. Now I've done the same here on the Fury SS. So I've done all the oils. As I say, there is gearbox oil in it. The primary case oil is actually fed by splash from the main crankcase, but I've made sure there's some in there for starting up. Got oil in the tank because this bike isn't oil in frame. But there is a big job to do on this, in that now we've got an auto advance unit. I will need to put that in. Now the auto advance unit is pegged, so therefore there's only one position for it. But when you put the contact breaker back plate back in, you've got to put it in the same position as you took it out. So I have marked it up. So let's get the cover off there and see what's going on. I think that when this was last out, we were showing this and actually the Lightning at the Lucas Bike Fest show, which was last September. And I think at the time I just put that cover on with everything in there pretty loose. So let's get that cover off now and check it out. Right, well, everything's in there, but I just will need to time it up properly just to check it out and spin it over to make sure the points are opening, etc. I know that we had a hell of a job centering the contact breaker back plate onto the auto advance, if you like, cam, which is why there's a spacer being built up, and I need to check all that out. But anyway, for now, not too bad, we're getting on. Right, okay. Well, it's late in the evening now when I'm trying to begin to sort these out, and they need a bit of a bullying up. But anyway, we're on the way. So timing up might be a job for tomorrow night, because I love it. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. Right, back shortly. Right, next evening, just to recap back on the Fury SS, and oils are all done, controls tested, etc. Battery all charged, ignition working fine, and just got the tyre pressures to do, plus timing. Right, so back on this, and although it looked as though everything was together here, the securing nut for the auto advance unit was loose, and so were the sleeve nuts that hold on the contact breaker plates, which, as you can see, one wire was already on a knife edge and the other one's just fallen off, so we've got those two to do. So I obviously just put it together fairly loosely with the new with the new auto advance assembly, just for the show that I took it to last year, just to keep things together, not to run. So we've got to start from scratch. First thing to do is I've screwed in now tightly the central stud here, which is obviously different to a lot of machines of this age, because normally it's a bolt there, but this is a stud with a nut on the end. So that's screwed in. You can now see that there's a small pin on the end of the cam, which it engages into the slot there. So there's only one way round that the auto advance unit can go in. The trouble is, I can't get it in at the moment and engage where that pin is, because of these two tangs here fouling this before it goes all the way in. So what we've got to do is just move that pin around about, so we can put this in from a different position, i.e. that position, to enable it then to avoid these two tangs for the contact breaker mounting. That's what I'm trying to say. So we'll just turn the engine over a little to do that, and then we should be able to get that on, and then that's held on with a special countersunk washer. And that countersunk washer actually squeezes down on the end of the centre of the auto advance unit to actually ensure it nips onto this stud, because they've gone to all sorts of lengths with this stud with tapers and things on here to make sure this is in tight, and also it goes in quite a long way, almost like a quill, to stop it flexing at high revs. And then we've got the nut which secures it on. So first of all, let's turn the engine over and see if we can get this located on that pin at the end of the cam. She's in straight away. Just moved the cam round so the peg was over there. She's slotted straight in. I've done her up. The easiest way to turn this engine over is with the starter. Let me just give you a demo. There you go. She's in gear now, but starter's working. Good. Right, what we'll do next is we've got to get these wires soldered back onto the little loops here under the nut. You can see that they've been done before. Might have been me. Not very well, but the wires are quite old. Anyway, we need to keep the wires in that formation. The points go in roughly in that orientation, which is a good start point then for static timing. So we need the yellow and black wire to go on the right hand set of points. So we'll do these one at once and see if we can get them back together. Right, let's get the soldering iron on. Right, that's those two soldered up, looking a much neater, back plate on and reasonably secure. The first thing we want to do is check the points gap, and this set of points is opening far too wide. That set of points isn't opening at all. So let's set that up first, and then we can maybe have a go at timing this up. So I'm a bit more positive now that we might have a fighting chance of getting this running for Stanford Hall, but it's now late on Friday night. We've got a mosey over there tomorrow. So if we don't do it, it'll be a static exhibit and we'll just run the lightning. But anyway, a bit more positive. Let's get these points gapped and see where we go from there. Right, well, I hope you can see that, but that's the right-hand cylinder sparking. I've checked the left-hand cylinder, that's sparking too. It's a little bit intermittent occasionally on this. I've got to clean up the points more. I found that the points were very dirty on this side. So let's give them another bit of a clean, but I'm pretty happy with that. And what we'll do then is she should be roughly in the right position for timing purposes, because I don't know if you can see that I did mark it up when I took this to pieces or disassembled this to change the auto advanced unit some time back. But anyway, we'll take off the bottom cover here and see if we're roughly in position with the marks on the rotor, because we did make up marks on the rotor for this. And then we should be good to go with a static time. It should run if I use the bulb on the static timing. But let's give these points another bit of a clean up first. They haven't been used for a while, and we'll just make sure we've got everything nice and clean for the so we get the best electrical contact. It's not showing all the sparks on the camera, but I can assure you that plug is sparking. I'm not sure if these points are bouncing a little bit, and that could be due to the shape of the cam. But all we can do really is time it as best as possible and see what happens. But we don't want it to overheat because of Maverick sparks, etc., like the old BSA Spitfire Mark IIs used to do. Right, let's move to getting this cover off and get everything buttoned up back up here regarding plugs, etc. Just check the contacts on the wires, but anyway, looking a lot better. Right, I just thought I'd show you that again. This is now effectively on the left-hand HT feed, and that one before I thought was creating Maverick sparks. In other words, the points were bouncing or the cam wasn't right. So I had a good look at this, and then it all came back to me. Now, I don't know whether you can see this, but I went back to this and I noticed that the contact breaker backplate, the centre of it round here, wasn't the same distance from the auto advance cam. In other words, the points backplate was offset to one side. It wasn't centered around here. And I remember then that when Bob was machining this up, he said that now this is, of course, you're talking about, you know, development models, etc. here as well. What we had to do was, you see this ring space around here, which is eccentric, and so that is to push the points backplate that way so it centers on that. And again, it just goes to show, you know, some of the challenges that we came across when we were building this up. And this is now so much better. The points open evenly. Both plugs are sparking once every revolution. And I think this is better than actually when we got this running for the very first time. I'm much more confident now. Also, I think the timing's in a good position. Based upon the rotor here, which I didn't show you. Now, there are two marks on this rotor, and we never know whether this isn't the original rotor for the engine. It's one off, you know, it's common to other models. But what I did do when I was first static timing this with measurements and discs, etc., is I marked up a timing mark just there because it corresponded to one of the screw holes for the outer cover, and it's there. So if you get this on the right revolution and line up these on each side with that, then that's where you need to time it statically for the points to just open. And I've not done it accurately yet, but we're roughly in the right position when this cam is on advance. You can see here at the moment I've got the nut and the washer off because I needed to get the screwdriver in to advance the cam. I think the springs on the auto advance cam, the return springs, are a bit too tight, but I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to leave it at that for now, and once we get over to the show tomorrow late afternoon for setup, etc., I'll have a few hours in the evening to tinker with this. I'll take the tools with me. We'll take the battery and light for the static timing, and we'll see if we can get it running. But I'm pleased with that. So what I need to do now is just check the tyres. We'll need to do a bit of bullying up at some point, but we've got plenty of time to do that. But what I will do is, because I've been using, as you've heard, the starter motor to turn this over, which seems to be working well, then we'll put the battery, we'll just give the battery a bit of a booster charge as well. Right, yeah, chuffed with that. Right, let me get this cover on, give it a bit of a bully, and then we'll do a quick sum up. You thought I was going to miss off that washer and stiff nut, didn't you? Well, you're wrong. Well, it's a good job he decided to charge the battery again, because it's drawing the 2 amps that I've set to, so it is a bit low. It says it's about 60%, and we'll need that. So I'm glad I've decided to give it a bit of a freshen up. Right, we'll get on with the tyres. Front done. Just do the back and the couple on the Lightning, and I think we'll just be about there. Oh yeah, shan't fuel them up tonight, but I'll take petrol with me. I've got a couple of cans at the back there. Right, tyres done, wiped down both bikes. Just need to fuel up now. Got a can of fuel under there, don't need much. Tool kit, what I'm going to take, polishing kit, oil, petrol, and all that I need to do now, I mean, it's early Saturday morning now, probably about 12:30 in the morning. Just want to give the battery another boost on that. I don't like leaving them on overnight, so we'll leave it like that for now. So I'll do that in the morning. Other than that, I hope to see some of you at Stanford Hall. It's now tomorrow, Sunday the 21st. And if you can't make it, I will be trying to put together a bit of a vlog. And if I remember, I'm going to take the GoPro as well. So if I do get either of these in the ring for a bit of a ride around, or even later today when I'm at the show, and fire them up just to do a quick test, if I manage to get a bit of footage, I'll include that in the vlog of Founders Day. All right, we'll leave it there. Not too much to see in this one, but hopefully you get the gist of what I've been up to just to prep the bikes. And see you all again soon. Thanks everyone for your interest, for watching, and for any subscriptions. And I'll be back very soon. Looking forward to a good weekend. Cheers.